Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. What the hell is up?
Oh man, so the last time you sent the intro, I like purposely didn't watch it because I wanted this time to be like the first time I saw the final one. That's so good.
It's flashy, isn't it? I love it. I like. Oh, my God, that's so cool. It's better than it. Better than River.
I cried.
Yeah, it's so.
I dug it.
Very
nice,
buddy.
A little bit of a new coat of paint on things.
Yeah, man. Gotta spit and shiny it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yep, we ain't no turds, so we can shine. God damn it!
Yeah, boy.
Well, if you watch our show, you're seeing some faces that you see sometimes, and a newer face that we haven't seen since back in the dark days.
The dark days.
Before the times of light.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
It's been crazy.
been a while.
Oh wow.
Well, man, you know,
how are you?
I am really, really good. I'm in a great place, both mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, I haven't lost any more limbs.
That's always a plus.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah. I don't recommend it. I mean,
Still at 10 fingers and 5 toes.
so far.
Yeah.
You know, made some changes for those that aren't aware. I mean, you know, I did come out 3 years ago last month. But yeah, just happy living, getting settled into a new house. Been here since mid-July. Slowly getting things unpacked. This is the result of the past 2 weeks, and I'm still not done. I showed you guys all the boxes over here to my left and to the right.
Yeah.
And there's one of my cats. But yeah, things have been great. Can't complain. You know, I'm going to be a bridesmaid in a wedding in 3 weeks.
Sweet.
That's
So
cool.
Yeah.
it kind of brings a validation to the whole thing. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
The only thing that, of course, I'm not happy about is the sound of my voice, and voice surgery is expensive.
Yeah.
But you know,
Thank you.
I can
What?
live with it. You know, people that don't know me that are taken aback at first, they can adjust and get used to it and deal with it or not. I don't care.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
Fucking
Just tell
dusty,
them.
baby.
Just tell him I
I'm
got
glad
smoky voice.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. Glad Eric's here, man. It's you know, we've gone through several iterations of this, man, and this is, you know, I was thinking about this morning, man. Year 6 that we've been in some way, shape, or form doing this, and
We've done over 160 shows.
yeah, and not only that, but like, I mean, we've done a lot. We've been involved with people, and people come and go. You know, people have like real life stuff come up and everything, and some things you get into and you realize you aren't what they are. It isn't, the situation isn't what you thought it was or hoped it was. I realize that we've always ended up best when we're kind of doing our own thing, and I'm glad that like we're kind of getting a fresh start there. Hey, we are a haven for misfits, man.
Yeah.
I am in the misfit toys. You
Yeah,
know?
and that's like always like seeing this is just like, you know, if you whatever, like if you don't feel like you fit in or whatever, or if you're, you know, just a nerd or just want a place to relax, be yourself, man. I feel like we've all, this is what,
Look at this motherfucker right here. What's a wolfie?
Except for Eric, he's not allowed.
Wolf.
Wolfie still got
I am like
of course.
Jesus
These guys,
Christ.
man, you know, just the biggest haters.
Fucking
Yo,
don't pay no attention to him. He's a Giants fan.
I'm gonna flex. That was not an MPSP Theater production.
But listen, to be fair, while EE talking junk, that kind of got his groove going. That's how he started now doing his Friday night thing.
Yeah. And now he's doing Realm Hatton.
Look at that.
Exactly, yeah,
Damn good show on Friday.
and doing a good thing, good show. Love all those guys, man. Love all those guys. I was goofing around in the.
Are they still doing like hangouts on every now and then?
No, it hasn't happened in a while.
Did they kill that off?
Are they?
They do on
I think it's just like a break.
broadcasted.
Are they doing broadcasts and something?
Yeah.
That's cool. I might have to try to get on with them on a Friday night one of these days. See what's up.
I suppose.
I was in there. I love going in there and talking trash to the Erics and then to Ricky.
Man.
And then being like, if it wasn't for Gorton and Derek, I wouldn't even be watching the show.
Word. Just so everybody knows, those brothers do an unbroadcasted every week.
Yeah.
After the show. Yeah.
I know, dude. That's
Yeah.
the thing, man. Because I wanted to get in that hangout so bad last night, but I was like, I know if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna stay up too late. And I had to I had to babysit my nieces this morning, man. And it was like,
dude, it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock maybe before. I think it was 1 something when I got off. So it was
really?
still going.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's
Took you that long, did it, Bubba? Ooh, all right.
Hey, yo.
Hello.
yeah.
You a stud.
Hey,
All right. Damn. He's like, I can't hold it, baby.
I think that's a good segue into how you been, sir, Mr. Eric.
Yo, I've been good, man. Life has been lifing, but when life lifes, you just gotta handle it and roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
I've been good, man. Dude, I swear G.I. Joe just needs to stop dropping stuff. I got like
Oh my God.
They're killing me, man. Every time I turn around, there's something new.
I said this.
I got
this like
all right,
in January of.
Yo, here's a really good question.
Oh,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Maya, have you cracked and gotten declassified?
Not a single one.
No.
really? You held
You were hard line 3 and 3/4.
I remember you
right?
were a very hard line on that. And I thought,
Wow.
I thought you would have cracked by now. Oh my gosh, seriously.
Yeah, I thought after like the second Firefly, I thought you.
Yeah, that's coming tomorrow for me. That's gonna be delivered tomorrow.
Yep, I got mine.
Oh, man, how is it? You loving it, man?
It's a loosey goosey.
See, I've heard that from everybody that it's got loose legs and the loose the ab
Torso.
crunch is loose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely
Shit.
is.
I mean, I'm gonna have to tighten it up and
Now,
get some
Look,
polish or
oil.
something. Yeah.
now, Sam, what was you saying about
I
classified?
was gonna say I said this. I was in on the line earlier, and then I got out at a certain point.
Mhm.
But I said this like in January. We were kind of like doing like an end of year thing. I said that is the best line, domestic or import. And now I feel like I just stand by that statement. I'm glad I've been able to just like have discipline and appreciate it from afar, because there have been so many times where I've seen shit on toy shelves. I'm like, God, that looks good, and I just want to grab it, but like, yeah.
I think it's definitely the best line domestic. I don't think import is caught up yet. It's close.
What would you think? No, okay, I know. I think Eric, I know what you'd think.
You
best
already
import
know.
would just be Mayfex comic book.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So it's man, and I say that G.I. Joe's best line import domestic, but it's almost hard to make that comparison because the volume is different. Which I think is what with G.I.
For that
Joe,
price
true.
point, for that price point, what it competes with, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
It-
I
it
think
doesn't
so.
compete-
Price point, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you're looking to buy a Mayfex, you're not, gonna replace it with.
Yeah, you had $100 easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
Yeah, $100.
Yeah, but I'd put a classify toe to toe with any figure in the price range of like $20 to $40 easily.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah, that's
They're-
what we're
I
saying.
think
killer.
I think classified beats SH Figure Arts anything at this point.
Well,
They
Yeah.
have, they have
For me,
fallen, they have fallen
yeah.
They're
off.
falling off.
They've fallen off.
The only
Yeah.
line
Gotten
that I
better.
think is still relevant for them is their Dragon Ball line, and it's hard for anybody to compete with that because they don't
Yeah,
have
well,
anything to compete
They're,
with.
and they're the
Yeah.
only one doing it.
Yeah.
And I know like Jack's Pacific has like the domestic one, but I mean it's
Some of those figures
retrograde.
are fun.
yeah, single joint.
I've got like the
pinned
beard.
elbows and and like they do. I guess they don't really. I don't think there's anything that Jax did like Janemba. If you like,
Mhm.
meet a Janemba and like saw that movie, in the
Listen, it's better than McFarlane by far. It's better than even the Hasbro Transformer line.
Look, you know how big of a Mythic
Black
Legion
Series.
jerk off I am, and I would even say I think the classified line is better than Mythic Legions.
It even competes with that for sure.
I think it does.
I think if you like go through and like, you know how when they grade like a prospect, they'll give them like 5.0 for whatever, you know, speed, rushing, whatever. I think if you go by that, like overall classified is the best line going right now.
Yeah, and I might think so too, because
like pound for pound, I guess would be a better way to say it.
And I feel like for a lot of people, probably like if you're got 2 Mafex figures coming in a month, right?
Yeah.
If you're in on all their stuff, which I don't even buy the Marvel stuff anymore. But like I just get the DC kind of like classic comic book. I don't even know if I'm gonna get like any of the Nightfall figures. I'm still
I gotta have the Bane. I gotta have the Bane.
I know it looks real, but it's I have a Bane that I made that's like good enough that I don't know.
Everybody's not a customizer, Sam.
Yeah. Well, hey, they're putting that Catwoman on. I'm gonna buy that because I did.
Yeah,
make
you gotta buy that.
But the Mafex one's way better.
Yeah.
But I do think there is something to that. Like, okay, you got $250 worth of this figure. You do have to do some, consideration with your funds, no matter kind of where you are, like financially.
Absolutely.
But especially if you got a family and everything. But there is like something to the G.I. Joe stuff where it's like, if you're not like if you're not just pre-ordering everything, just like seeing something at Target and be like, $25. Yeah, I'll throw that in the cart. Like, I feel like that, like, they do have an edge on that. I don't know what that means or if that makes them better or
man, they've been coming out with stuff at a high clip. Like, let's say you're not in on the Night Force stuff and the stuff.
Yeah.
You're still getting 3 figures, it seems like, every other month now. Like, we just got the Firefly, we got the Valkyries, we got the Steel Core Brigades, we got everything is just dropped. Firefly, like Tunnel Rat, Low Light.
And then even for them, like their willingness to listen to feedback and just like change and pivot, it's such a quick clip from going to where like the very first wave was, and then like immediately just kind of fixing all that shit and being like,
well, I remember a lot of them
about to slow him down.
He's pretty dope.
Oh, really?
A lot of the Valaverse fans were preaching it hard, like how Bobby Val is doing stuff that, like, they're giving us the Steel Core and all the stuff, and Hasbro's not going to touch that, and I'm like, okay, I'm telling you now, Hasbro will touch whatever they want to touch. Bobby Val said, and then sure enough, anything that's like Joe related. They're going to. We now know that Hasbro is open to saying we will do it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't for the first time. I'd say about 6 months ago is when it really hit me. I feel secure that this line is going to give us. We just got to be patient because I'm sure they have a lineup, an order they're doing stuff in.
Like, I thought I was a G.I. Joe fan until this line came out, and then I'm seeing shit like the Range Viper and
well,
Range Vipers are wicked looking.
Yeah, they are.
They're pretty cool.
I was a big Alley Viper fan, so I just wanted to get an Alley Viper.
Is cool. And the fucking Crimson variant of that,
it looks badass.
That's pretty key.
I think that's kind of what I like about it too. Repaints drive me crazy on a lot of things, but when it comes to G.I. Joe, and they pulled this off in the 80s too.
Yeah,
but not all of them are repaints. Like, if
not all of them are repaints.
Stuff,
that's
they
true.
reuse some stuff, but a lot of like even they'll even
a lot of
stuff,
retooling.
Yeah, and they'll pull stuff in from Marvel Legends. Like, they'll pull like that satchel from Gambit is in Longshot.
They'll do subtle changes too some of them.
Yeah,
but even if they're doing repaints, they've always done repaints in a way where you just don't feel like it's a repaint. You just don't feel like it's a repaint. It's a whole new figure, and I don't know. I love it, man. I'm getting all my favorite characters. I'm just digging on it so much,
Now,
oh man,
I will say it's like one of those begrudging things where you have to say, okay, classified is the best, but I'm still saying my favorite shit right now is coming from NECA. between the
Fair
Universal
enough.
monsters, the turtle Universal monsters, and the gargoyles.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It's probably the. I'm kind of I'm kind of on that too. I'm enjoying the
can't
hell out of the
wait.
G.I. Joe line, but
I can't wait to ship my cart. I got both the Xanatoses in it, I think, and Elisa.
oh really?
You know
Did you
what's
that's
about
cool,
to sound
dude.
strange, but I'm gonna say it anyway, and I know I'm crazy. I just want the humans from that line. I just want Xanatos and
Really?
Elise. That's it.
Really nice.
That's all I want.
That I see this.
All right.
That's how Anna was kind of like that, but Anna only wanted Demona. She wanted
Goliath.
and then I got her because I found him. He was on sale. The repainted Goliath, the Phalog, right?
Oh yeah,
Phalong, yeah, Phalong. I found he was on sale on Amazon for like $25.
Yeah,
I was like,
that
yeah, I'll
was
get that. I'll
easy
do that for
repaint, too.
25.
You
Yeah,
gotta-
so I
You got to listen to this cart, bro.
mm,
All right, so I got the Masterverse web store.
nice.
All right, the armored Xanatos, regular
Cool.
Xanatos,
All right,
Masterverse Whiplash, 2 Crimson Vipers, Firefly, Elisa Maza, and the Universal Monsters Creature from the Black Lagoon. Tell me that's not a fucking great fucking cart.
It's quite a combination. I'll tell you that.
The eclectic is shit.
It is. It is. Well, I mean, as much as I'm enjoying the GI Joes, my son asked me the other day. He said, I don't see you with his GI Joe anymore, and I said, I still got a couple Transformers here and there. And he says, are you doing anything with that? What's he call it? He says he calls it the Mythos collection. That's what he calls it, the Mythos collection. I said, no, it's Mythic Legion. Gotta correct him, you know. And I'm like, oh no, Mythic Legion is still in the heart. I got stuff coming. I got stuff on order. I'm waiting on this. It'll be here hopefully shortly.
The new 4 Horsemen line, Russ.
The Cosmic.
The Meta Travelers.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't heard
Cosmic.
nothing about it.
That's a part of the
already
Cosmic
announced.
Legion line. That's like the next wave, I think.
Yeah, I heard her.
It's a Kickstarter with Andy Lanning.
Oh, really? I'm not surprised. They've gotten.
He was one of the writers of the Guardians of the Galaxy, like when they first started with like Peter Quill, this version of Drax and Gamora. So he was one of the writers for that. So he's coming up with fiction, and they're actually doing comic books and shit for this.
That's pretty
and
cool.
They've got like you'll be able to use like augmented reality and stuff. It's up on BBTS. Let me show you at least the figs because they look dope.
That's interesting. Something different for them.
That's slick.
And this is all by the 4 Horsemen too.
Yeah, that's a.
So this is Meta Travelers Legendary.
It's beautiful sculpt work. You know, it's them.
No. So there's that dude. Let's see what. Look at this one, dude.
That's badass.
And I mean, it's 4 Horsemen. It'll fit with your mythics unless the scale is just like crazy.
Yeah. But Mythic scale pretty big.
7
anyway,
inches.
though.
7 inches.
Yeah, that's where Mythic scale. I'm under the 7 inch are. They're pretty big. That's why I always tell people when people say, are they 112? I say, well, they're on the bigger side of 112. You know?
Well, that's very Mandalorian-esque.
Yeah,
indeed it is. Yeah.
They had something else that kind of like an homage. Oh, look at this though.
Yeah.
That's
like Desaad and Skeletor had a love child.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maya.
That's awesome. Yeah. They love getting inspiration from wherever they can get it from, so you never get so.
This is kind of cool. I know it's like more plain than the other ones.
Yeah.
But I like it because it is.
I like that.
Plain.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Mr. Freeze too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like cryo suit.
But yeah, it's on Kickstarter and you can just, fucking back it. And it doesn't seem that unreasonable. I think for like $300 you can get like 7 huge figures. Well, 7-inch, fucking, 4 horsemen figures.
I think what all of us are waiting on is for them to do just a dragon period, and it'll be a dragon that's probably going to be a mount for figures. So we're looking for it to be pretty decently sized. And it'll probably be expensive, but I guarantee you, it's what all Mythic Legions fans want. It's the big dog, I think.
Yeah, that's important for what we were talking about with classifieds and fucking NECA for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Maya, like, what are you collecting the most?
Honestly, my collecting slowed down a lot. I mean, I still do third-party MP scale, but the releases are so slow. Like, I've picked up the cassettes and Omnibots, punch counterpunch this year.
Nice.
Do a few Legends scale, getting the new Magic Square Devastator. Got
Looks
3 of
good.
the 4 pieces in. Black Series, I just do the Star Wars TV show stuff like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka.
That's a good way to go, because that's a line that has so many other sublines inside of it. It's crazy. Jeez.
Got a few Hellboy pieces here and there, but really I'm tangled. I got a whole box of unopened stuff that I've had shipped here since I moved here. One of the things I'm really excited about opening soon, but I haven't yet, is this set here.
Oh, they're like Mirage Turtles, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, that's so awesome.
The Mirage
those
Turtles.
are the beefier ones. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. Are you still messing around with what's the miniature? I can't remember what the line what it's called. The Masters of the Universe, the little
I actually got a new piece. Yeah, the Mega Constructs.
Mega Constructs. I said, yeah, I could remember.
I got Snake Mountain there, Castle Grayskull, and I got a new Eternia Battleground set, which is like a tower from the Eternia playset.
Yeah. I remember the new Eternia playset from the original. It's like crazy.
I actually got a 6-pack of new figures yesterday, because it came with a Whiplash.
That's cool.
That's fast.
An Orko.
I love some Orko.
And it came with Wondar. What's crazy about Wondar is, you remember how it was the Wonder Bread He-Man, right?
Right.
Came with a little fucking toaster with a slice of bread in it.
That's pretty dope.
I love embracing the joke. That's good. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Maybe.
So EB, like, what has got you like jazzed about collecting right now?
Honestly, it's Mafex comic line. Their X-Man is amazing. Their
that Casey's good too. I have him.
Their DC comic line is amazing. So like their Batman Hush, which we're almost done with. I picked up a few Legends here or there. I've gotten I cherry picked those, but like basically anything Mafex that's from the comic line, the X-Men line, the Avengers line, which they're coming out with. Cap should be here soon. And finishing my Hot Toys collection. Like there's one figure I'm waiting on. I just got this, which is the Iron Man Origins Hot Toys War Machine, which is more of a like comic expired, but it has like the glossy plastic pieces. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's kind of glossy plastic here and here, but the rest of it's like colored painted and stuff. I got the Iron Man too, and then I got the Black Panther Origins coming. So I'm pretty much done with Hot Toys. I think Mace Windu and the Shuri Black Panther is all I need after that, and I'm done. So just that stuff. I'm not really excited about Transformers at the moment, other than the
Me
few little
either.
legends I cherry picked. I got
Yeah.
Punch Counter Punch is on the way. I got 4 of those coming whenever the 2 Japanese ones drop. And just finishing that collection, man. Like Scourge is coming, I'm sure sometime this year from Vans Toys. I do want to see that because I got a chance to mess with it at BotCon. But that's it, man. Mostly just this and GI Joe Classified. Mafex and GI Joe Classified has been keeping my interest peaked. That's it. That's about it.
Shit.
It's it's been I've been jumping around, man. Like I'll grab a few Transformers I liked. I'm like, all right, I'll grab that one, and then like I was up in when I was up in Hagerstown. I went to a Walmart up there, and I found that repaint. What's it called? Cloud cover. It's just the character's name. It's a Walmart exclusive. I think it's a repaint of which one is it? Thrust or no Dirge? It's a repaint of Dirge.
Oh, it's that I got you. Almost
Yeah,
like
it's
2 colors.
Yeah. It's got it's all blue and bright. It's pretty, man. It's a pretty color scheme. I like it, but it's I love that. I love that mold so much anyway. And that jet is badass. So I was like, all right. I got the Sandstorm version of it too. So I was like, all right.
I got the New Age Grimlock in the comic colors, and like the
only
complaint I have is the goddamn neck peg. Like,
really,
you have to
how much it sticks up.
Yeah, like I've seen a kit where like you can switch out. I guess it's chest plate. They give you a thing to take it out, and they have different colored ones, and also so you can get a Autobot symbol below the chest plate.
Yeah, I got you.
And it also has an adapter that actually gives him like a neck.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. I don't know where I am at with these legends, man. Like, it's cool.
Yeah,
I have a little pocket Grimlock here. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're
They're fun,
fun
man.
to mess with, man. Is all
they are.
Like, they're really fun to manipulate.
I cherry pick them. I just got a few keys. You know, I got like the Magic Square Prime and Ultra Magnus. You know, the Zeta Superion that they did. You know, just combiners, Megatron, a couple of the major ones. I'm not getting everything. I just want keys.
Yeah,
One thing I did want to show you, Nick, that I'm sure you would appreciate. I picked up these.
Oh, is that all 4 of them?
All 6 of them.
Oh, nice.
It's
Mini Mates.
Yeah, and
villains. Vengeance.
So I picked those up. I haven't cracked them open yet. I'm gonna put them on one of those shelves over there.
What have you been doing for D&D lately? Anything?
I've not played all year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The group that I was playing with, everybody's life kind of fell apart in January. Like one of the guys, his wife hit him with a divorce. The other guy, he and his new bride that just got married the week of Thanksgiving had a miscarriage. You know, another guy, he and his family moved 1,800 miles across the country, and it took a while for them to get moved, and it's just been chaotic. And
burn some fucking sage.
Really, that's rough there.
With the whole open gaming license fiasco that Hasbro pulled, or Wizards, it put a bad taste in my mouth for D&D anyway.
Oh gosh, of course.
So I really want to play Pathfinder. Which I have, you know, a shit ton of Pathfinder stuff.
And they make like better minis than D&D does, right?
Yes and no. I mean, WizKids does both of the miniatures, but WizKids also came out with Frameworks minis for D&D, where you actually cut them off of the sprue and build them like you would a Warhammer model made of a different plastic.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Durable. I've got some of those, but they're pricey. like a Bowler cost $90. I was able to get
shit.
one on sale for 60, and it's huge, and it's going to be great when I get it painted and everything once I get it unpacked. But yeah, as for playing, I've got the Drakenheim stuff that I want to get into. It's just that group's probably not going to get back together. Unfortunately, we played together for almost 3 years, but it's just everything fell apart. Like the one guy, he's still living in the same house with his soon-to-be ex-wife, and he's trying to find an apartment to move into, that's big enough for him and all 3 of his kids. And
Keepers.
yeah. So it's just like, while I know D&D was a way of escaping, it's also it's also something that stressed him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially any role play aspects. Like when it came to combat, he was just like, "Yeah, let's go." But when it came to role play aspects, it wasn't his bag. So I get that. And people come and go. It's just frustrating. Since January, I've not played. I don't mind DMing, but I kind of want to play instead of just being a DM, because I've been a
You
forever
gotta
DM.
balance both.
I've been a forever DM for like 18 years. Well, actually, no, 21. Since 2002.
I've never actually ran a 5e game yet. I've been thinking about doing one online, like Roll20, and like doing it on Twitch and shit.
There's a learning curve for using things like Foundry and Roll20 and other VTTs. But once you get that down, it's very convenient and, really good way to get people who aren't in a centralized location, for instance, together to play. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. What I'm thinking of doing on an episode soon, because I need to get some minis, is building a Hero Forge mini online, like during the show. Show people like what that looks like and shit. I think it'd be cool.
Right before I announced my transition, I got a custom mini of my previous iteration of myself to paint and commemorate that. It's just like one final, oh yeah, I used to look like that. But my friend that owns the house that we live in, her husband, who was also a dear friend of mine, passed away suddenly last year in July. And as a commemorative piece, I created a custom mini of him, and he was a guitar player, musician, incredibly talented musician. So I got a mini of him playing guitar. And he was a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan, so I painted the guitar and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Look at that. That guy had taste. That's great, man.
He did.
I love that.
I mean, I
Respect.
introduced the 2 of them back in 2002 to each other, and they always joke around and say, you're the reason that we're married and we have a kid. And it sucks that he's gone, but it was just a nice thing to do to commemorate him. It's something I knew how to do and something I do well, painting a mini.
Yeah.
And giving it as a gift, it's just
it's kind of cool.
But yeah, the Hero Forge process, sorry to get sidetracked on that's pretty awesome. It is so customizable. All the options you have and the poses, you can customize the poses. It's really in depth. You can get it painted, or not unpainted, but printed in color, or you can get it unpainted, prime it, and paint it yourself.
Right before we took a break, I did Baldur's Gate 3 character creation too. That was fun.
Nice.
We even had Tiefling Dick, but no problems from YouTube. But that's really good, going from Tiefling Dick to other subjects.
I mean, it's a hot piece of meat, I guess.
So every year around this time is Banned Book Week. And what this is a week that an educator named, let's see here, Judith Krug started in 1982 to bring awareness to books that were being banned in public schools. Now, it's come to the point where LeVar Burton has gotten involved.
Shout out to LeVar.
Yeah, man, that is a dude. Like, we all grew up with him. We were reading Rainbow.
Yep.
He was Geordie LaForge.
Yeah, he was. That's yeah.
And like before that, obviously, fucking Roots.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
He's played
LeVar
some-
Burton he has had a career.
yeah, those are rolls.
And like he just seems like one of the most genuine people you would ever meet.
Super cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He came to our school one year when I was a kid.
Yeah, we met him at a car show of all places. That's where we're at the car show. My kids were little when we went to this car show, and me and Ann are all excited because it's from Star Trek, LeVar Burton, and my kid, my daughter's staring at me. She looks at me. She's like, "That's the guy from Reading Rainbow. I don't know what you're talking about. This Star
Dude,
Trek."
that's where I knew him from. I watched both of them. My dad had me watch Star Trek, man.
Oh, good time though. But
That was the first time I knew of him was on Reading Rainbow for sure.
Yo, I love the DMX remix of that.
Oh my god, that was
What?
Yeah. Suck my dick. That's a lot of fun, man.
But for real, like just to give you an idea of some of the books that they're banning. Just this year, 1984 was banned by George Orwell.
That's very Orwellian.
Yes, it's like the whole point of the book is Big Brother and censorship, and here we go. Exactly against what the hell it is. Then here's one that really pissed me off. This is the first comic book to ever win the Pulitzer Prize, and it's Mouse, A Survivor's Tale.
Yeah, I think, and it's weird because
They banned Mouse.
I think it got
Yes.
banned because of
I remember now. Why.
I think they were like, I think the argument was like it's too how did they word it? It wasn't. It was like it was too like graphic
Yeah,
and
this is from
fiction or something like that.
greenapplebooks.com.
And then like I think my defense would be like, well, it's like covering one of the worst events in human history. So it's like, yeah, I think that kind of tracks with it. And any interpretation of that, whether it's like Mouse, which is done in a certain way, or like if it's a memoir about the Holocaust, like they're necessarily going to contain like really graphic imagery, whether that's
right
in word form or in picture form. And it just has to happen. I mean, it's any event like that,
That
like a
didn't
war or anything.
It didn't shock me because I feel like what's been happening over the years is that people want to try to desensitize us or lighten or make light of some of the most horrific things in history.
I don't even think that's. I think it's the opposite. I think it's parents not wanting their kids to be exposed to something like that.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like, it was like, well, desensitizing would be like it's not a big deal.
When I say desensitizing, I mean they're trying to make it where it's if you ignore it. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right.
I think.
Maybe I'm using the wrong word. I might be using the wrong word for it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like my kids are, they're too young. They don't need to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that is up to the parents' discretion. I guess is like when they want. But I mean, like a lot of those events,
right? But don't I, as a
curriculum.
parent, also have a right to have that material available to my child if I want?
You should.
Exactly.
You
and
should.
I think like if it's banned, what is it like in the school? Because I mean, like they learn.
Because let's be honest, they're talking about libraries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Who uses libraries?
Them kids.
Most kids don't anymore. I don't think. I mean,
no. I'm going to tell you who uses libraries. lower income families.
Oh, that's true because they obviously can't afford to have a computer or something all the time. Yeah,
Right. And
good
while
point.
they're there, you know,
Yeah,
these kids are
you're right.
reading and trying to educate themselves.
Right, but we're holding back the hold.
Yeah.
Hold back.
It's just crazy, man. That whole banning books thing is just nuts. And I think it goes back to what Russ was saying is that they want to erase a big part of history because
they
they
do.
don't want the bones
Yeah.
uncovered.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Yep.
It is a
Wait till you
weird
see these
thing.
next ones, like a separate piece.
That's crazy.
Angela
I knew any
Davis,
book by, of
Angela
course.
Davis' autobiography.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to know that was going to be gone.
George Orwell's getting creamed on this thing, man.
Animal Farm.
How did Animal
Yeah.
Farm get dropped off of there?
That's weird.
Because I guess they don't want people to know what fascism is.
Does it say where like these places are banned
I'm
like
not
for each
sure.
one? If it I mean, because is it
I'm
just
not
like
seeing
one school district, one like county?
That looks like California right there, but
Yeah.
I doubt those are being banned in California.
Yeah, this is the Green Apple books. They're trying to get they're put this list together because these books have been banned somewhere, so it's access to people to
It's like an
be able to get
aggregated
them.
thing.
Most of it's been in Florida and Texas.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Florida's been really bad. Beloved by Toni Morrison.
I like Toni Morrison.
Beyond Magenta, transgender and non-binary teens speak out.
You should have known that was going to be banned too.
Yeah.
Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Wow, it's not even a good book.
Call the Wild, dude. We're literally
Call the
reading that this
Wild.
week in my class.
Are you really? Call the Wild. Yeah, that's
I think
crazy.
I know why. I think I know
Captain Underpants.
why. No, hell no.
It's
Oh,
I think all
by Cormac McCarthy.
dude, Cormac McCarthy. He's my favorite author ever.
I could see this being banned in a school library, maybe. Choke by Chuck Palahniuk.
Well, yeah. That's where I was like, I wonder, like, what it did all this all is like
Critical
if
race
it's like
theory.
just in schools or wherever. But it's I'll say like a problem with this whole impulse, right? Where I think it's a couple things. I think a lot of it is like parents say like, I don't necessarily want my kid to read this thing, so nobody else should be able to.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Where it's like an over concern with like what other people are doing. But then it's like if they were in my class or in my district to say like you can't, and we do talk about the Holocaust a good bit, right? So if they said you can't, because we read the book Night, which is like a memoir by Elie Wiesel, who's like a concentration camp survivor, and it's graphic
Diary
as
of
shit.
Anne Frank has been banned in Tennessee, I believe.
Yeah, and well, it's like in that book is awful to read. I'll tell you, Night is, and I almost dread it every time I read it, like each year with my kids, because I know it's like, but I think it's useful, right? So because I think it's a good way to kind of communicate what it was like from someone who experienced it, et cetera, et cetera. But in the lead up to that, I give like a shit ton of background information, right? Of kind of how this happens from like the demonization of the other. And if my school district said we're banning, you can't teach anything that was like a written work of like of Adolf Hitler, then I'd be like, well, shit. That takes out some of my teaching material, right? Because we show them direct quotes from him and propaganda and things like that and things that he said, so we can then deconstruct it and say, why is this wrong?
So
and
it came right from the horse's mouth.
Exactly. So I feel like if kids aren't exposed to those things, like even if the impulse is to like protect them from those things, then like they're not going to be necessarily equipped to deal with them in a meaningful way.
Yeah. Yep.
Maya's cat just pulled it.
Oh my god!
Up on top of the billies.
Yeah, you gotta be able to show the material. I don't think you should erase any part of history, but I don't think you should highlight one over the other. And I think that's the problem.
Exactly. And it's like something like that. You should be able to look at it and be like, okay, why is this wrong? Why is this wrong? Or what maybe like impulses of people that did they take advantage of, you know, in that moment. But I think that's like, that is a thing that's, I think, more common now on any like side of the spectrum, is like of not wanting to engage with anyone and just wanting to say, no, you are disqualified.
Yeah.
Right. So I do hate that impulse,
and
no
like,
matter where it comes from.
And that's what I was going to say too. I hate that it comes from the left too.
Oh,
Because
100%.
it does come.
Yeah.
It is coming from the left too.
Mhm.
And the thing is if we're going to start trusting society to be adults, then we need to treat them like adults and allow them
exactly, man.
access to information, because that is the only way that we are going to start solving some of these fucking problems we have.
Exactly.
Well,
Now this is not to defend the left, but what I will say is the left are not banning books. They might tell you like don't go look at this particular news article, or don't support this news station. And this, that,
dude,
and other, which
Right.
Eric,
I
I
think
had
is equally wrong.
I had a lady in my district tell me that like we shouldn't be allowed to read To Kill a Mockingbird because
that's nuts.
because Atticus Finch, she said she called him a white savior. You know what I mean? And it's like, and like
That's
that,
nuts.
and I'm not saying she speaks for everybody, but like that is like of an impulse.
But
to say,
that's what
like,
I'm saying is like you have these ultra liberals just as you have the ultra right.
yeah,
you
well,
know?
and it's like I
And-
said, it is an unwillingness to engage with people because I feel like people don't believe in the strength of their own argument.
I think that and like you can disagree with me all you want, but what I think needs to happen in these districts more is that the Bible needs to be banned along with these other books, like it has been in some districts.
Yeah, well,
because
I feel like they're going to do it
because
then it's like a weird thing because then you can't teach about like Buddhism or like Hinduism.
but that's the thing.
slope.
The people
Yeah.
the people that want these books banned don't want the Bible banned.
Yeah,
In
it's kinda
Tennessee,
like-
they're trying to make it the state book.
yeah.
The Bible.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's already been districts in Florida that have banned the Bible.
They can't have the Bible as their state book in Tennessee.
Yeah, well,
They break every commandment imaginable down there.
Yeah,
They
That
can't-
whole
it's like
state
dumb.
to catch on fire, bro.
yeah,
yeah,
That whole
really.
state to be up.
yeah,
in-
because
That's-
you have to in something like that you have to have a principle, right? And if your
Yeah, right.
Right.
if your principles are okay, well, like we don't want to teach kids about these different religions, that should be taught
Yeah.
at home or whatever.
Genocide, rape,
Then like it all has to
I mean,
encompass that. And then it's like I am more on the view of like don't ban anything.
right.
Let people have
that's my view
yeah,
too.
let people have whatever they want and let them sort it out on their own.
okay, look,
Yeah.
it goes like
Because
this.
I don't think because it's like you know when Kanye West was at his goofiest moment,
Mhm.
I remember people being like, okay, I'm not gonna listen to his music anymore. I'm gonna do
Right.
this and do that. But like my thing was always like, I love the dude's music. I think he's one of the best to ever do it. Like some of the albums
Agreed.
that he produced, like I was listening to Common's. Eric, you ever listen to B by
Yes.
that Common album? And it's like
Yeah.
that's Kanye West produced, and it's like
Yeah.
he was, and I still think he's the best to ever do it. When he talks about how like the Jews
Whoa,
are
best
controlling
to ever
this stuff,
do it.
I just like want. Well, he's
As a
one of-
producer,
to me
he's-
as a producer,
nuts.
yeah,
He's one of the best.
and
for sure.
and I mean to this day, but I even like when I think like when he was at his craziest, right, and most
Mhm.
unhinged moments, like I never thought he was changing any minds. I think the people that were receptive to that message already had
Were
their
already
minds
on
made
that
up.
path.
They were already
sure.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
I
So
see
I
what
don't
you're
think- I
saying.
don't think
Yeah.
there was a normal,
Yeah.
like reasonable person that was like, you know what? Maybe the Jews really are the cause of the because
Right.
Kanye West said so.
Yeah.
So
Then you
there's
have a fucking sitting member of Congress and Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about Jewish space lasers starting fucking
Yeah.
wildfires in
So
California.
it just goes to show you
Yeah, that's wild.
the hypocrisy that is in our
Okay.
political space, bro. Like that's
Okay.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
just nuts.
even with her, like, is she changing any minds? I doubt
No.
it, dude.
She's-
Like, which is,
That chick's she's mentally unhinged. Been that way for a long time.
yeah, it's like
She's
that,
not right.
that's like
She's
what
all
like,
there, man.
I don't know why, but like the Kanye thing really helped me like kind of solidify that. It's like I feel like if they're not changing minds, then
But that's what it is with me. Like, okay,
missed and
you guys, I mean, y'all remember this because there was a controversy about it back a long time ago. You remember in the '80s there was a mini series called V. You
Yeah,
remember
I love that.
right? With where the aliens, the lizard people came down to invade the
Oh,
planet. And
Yeah,
everything.
Robert Englund was in that.
Robert
yeah.
Englund was in it exactly right. There's
Fire.
there's a scene in V where one of the her name was Diana. I think it was Diana was her name. And she opens up her like unhinges her jaw, opens her mouth, right, and swallows like a mouse or something like that, like whole, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Eggs down, she, delicious, you know. And
Are you gonna say that's Marjorie Taylor Greene?
no. What I was saying is a lot of people. God, it could be anyway. A lot of people. I wish she would show something in her mouth at the time, but no. But what it was, a lot of people crooked out on that scene. And said that they found it disgusting. There are people that were calling for the show for the miniseries to be taken off TV, right? So here's what but of course they didn't because the ratings were outstanding for it, right?
Banner at the
right, yeah, right. So but they did force them to put like a more of a, this program may not be suitable for more children of a certain age and all that.
And it's
I think what the whole thing comes down to is if you didn't like that scene, that's okay. Don't watch it. It's not for you. But don't try to take that away from me. I liked the scene. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. What gives you the right to not like it and say I can't watch it?
Yeah, no, I think a part of that, Russ, is like the warning on your to-go coffee cup that says this container contains or whatever.
Yeah, you literally got
and I think it's that, and I do think it's a lot of like, it's like how much are we just like infantilizing people of being like watch out for the thing around every corner, and it's like there is still I think something to be said about like just if you have kids, like teaching them to be resilient a little bit and just to recognize that like you're going to encounter things that make you uncomfortable and that you don't like. And like part of life is figuring out how to navigate those things in a way that you can like kind of keep moving forward and don't just like crumble up into a ball every time, somebody disagrees with you or you see something that you don't like. And it's tough. It's a tough thing, man.
I think I just can't stand when somebody tries to force their opinion on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As I have to go with their opinion, and if I don't like their opinion and I have a different opinion, then they're going to go out of their way to make sure the law forces their opinion on me. And I'm like,
that is
crap is that?
I think that's definitely a thing you see from like both sides of trying to use the
absolutely
means to enforce things that should just be like left up to the individual.
Oh, sure, absolutely, and it's always been a bone of contention because you always see him more and more and more,
Mm-hmm.
And what always kills me is then you got some of the people who they want to ban your certain behavior in public, but then they see a video comes out of that very person that championed it.
Exactly.
She's behaving vulgar in public.
Exactly, man.
Supposed to be watching a show, the Beetlejuice show, and she's getting it on with her boyfriend in the theater.
Jerking some dude off.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
you're like, wow,
double-handed on homie.
What a skank.
He must have been stacked.
What? Sorry. I mean, Lauren Boebert, dude.
Don't slut shame her. She's a scumbag for other reasons.
Well, that's true.
Well,
that's true.
So that was like the funny thing about that whole situation. It's like she just, I mean, absent of her like fooling around with this dude, and it's like I can't say I've never done that same thing, right? Like in a
Yeah, but here's the thing,
theater.
Sam. But Sam,
you've given an over the pants handy in the theater.
okay, but you're not hold on a minute though. You're not a United States House of Representative member.
I know.
There's a
But
difference.
just
There
like-
is a
just like-
difference.
And you
just
weren't
like the-
vaping in the face of
Yeah,
a pregnant
right?
So
woman.
okay, so
Pregnant
just
woman,
that,
she said.
Nick, that was my distinction. I was gonna say, like, of just all of the like, do you know who I am? And
Right,
Yeah.
right.
just like doing it, like she's just a goofy kind of.
She said,
like,
the woman said, I'm pregnant. Can you please stop that shit? I'm not vaping. I was talking about.
And dinner
I was
they
like,
offered to
yeah.
buy the pregnant lady an alcoholic drink. Is that gonna get you a drink? Sorry.
You know what?
As a
Let's lower
peace
your
offering.
baby's IQ right in the wound.
Right now.
Jesus Christ, man.
Indian eyes. All right.
oh my god!
Put that banner back up, Nick.
Yeah, quickly, hurry up! Oh yeah, I do think, I think
Jesus.
that's my sentiment is like kind of let people do what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't think people's minds are being changed by like the goofiest, most fringe of ideas. I do think there maybe is like some solidification. Like if you're like I kind of lean this way, and this person kind of says this thing, it might make me feel like I'm not alone, right? But I do think like if you're reasonable, you're not going to be pulled too hard by these fringe ideas. I think they're capturing the people that are already there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Like for instance, anything like Marjorie Taylor Greene or someone, or Obag. Anyway, anything I can't remember. Boebert, that's a Lauren Boebert. Right? Anything they have to say, like they're never going to change my mind. Just like a lot of people's mind, they're never going to change. Because I look at them as like entertainment. They don't even matter to me.
Yeah, which is like, unfortunate that they're like in government, but they're ultimately.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the people that vote
it's like I said, like they're not changing minds, but they are giving voice to a very, I'd call it definitely a minority, but like a goofy kind of.
If I feel bad, I feel bad for some of the people in their district. I feel bad for the people that did not vote for them in their district.
Yeah,
and they're probably going, "Oh God, this is the clown fest we have to deal with."
Yeah. And it's like, have some pride in who you send up there, please.
You should. I agree. And then you got so many that go up there, and you're like, "Oh my God, they actually voted for you."
They had pride when they sent them up there because they talk just
so.
like they talk.
Yeah, true. Well, what's his name? What George Santos? I mean, he conned his way in, so you gotta give him credit.
And that mud, did he ever get impeached?
He's still there.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
I didn't have him controlled though.
Yeah, I think they made him be quiet.
Yeah, he's not on any committees or anything like that. He's not.
He is being prosecuted.
If he talks,
he is being prosecuted. That's happening.
Yeah, New York State is going after his ass.
Because there's a lot of fraud shit going on with that criminal.
He fucked with like campaign money. They don't play with that.
And I got so angry because like somebody said, I knew him a long time ago, had said that he was a drag queen down in down in Puerto Rico and Brazil, right? And I'm
Brazil,
so he's asked about that and he's freaking out like I never was a drag queen. And I'm like, dude, don't if you were, don't say you weren't. Drag queens are badass. Go ahead, embrace that shit.
No, but you know why he had to because that's against his party.
That's right. It is. You're right. I forgot he ran as a Republican, didn't he? Yep. That's true. Yeah, I guess you're right. You go.
His whole party is like banning drag queens.
Oh yeah, they hate. Oh yeah. They hate anything that's not like blonde haired.
They hate me. They want to They want to eliminate people like me. They're taking their health care away in the United States.
They're trying everything they can to. Yeah, you're right.
And like to me, that is like that same impulse, where it's like just the over concern with what other people are doing. Like,
I
think that I think that's where like the band mentality comes from, where it's like, and it's like to me, I think like I don't know where this would lie on the spectrum, but like to me at my core is just like let the individual do what the individual wants to do, as long as it doesn't cause harm to everything,
Right.
to anybody.
Yeah.
And I draw a hard line. I don't think that words are harm. Like, I think like unless like, and I'm not saying because like that distinction is important to me of like it doesn't cause harm, because I don't think you should have the right to go fucking punch somebody in the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that causes harm to someone else. But
Sure. That's true.
Although there are some people who deserve it, but that's a
Yeah,
story.
100.
I would agree with that 100% too.
They can sort that shit out, you know. But I think like that to me is sort of like I whatever the ban thing is, like it's just like come the fuck on, like let people do what they want to do at their own risk, you know. And again, if it crosses that line, if it causes harm to somebody, then you're infringing on other people's rights.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think
Yeah, I don't
words,
think
but
you
then
can-
it's like I don't think words are meaningless. Like I think if someone says something, then you know maybe
Well, in
Look,
Virginia,
here's the reality.
they can be an assault.
If you say a word to someone that you know is triggering,
Yeah.
deal with the consequences of that.
do you deal with the consequences of that?
The
Well, yeah,
immediate
this-
and then social.
If I hit you because you said something to me that was out of pocket, I deal with the consequences of that.
That's true. That's
exactly, yeah.
That's exactly the way it should be.
That's where I'm at.
You hit it
I mean,
perfectly.
a lot of those things, you know, like you say, a
And
certain.
if somebody if the law decides that, hey, what that person said was heinous enough that I had the right to belt them in the fucking mouth, then that's what the law says, and I'm good.
Mhm.
Well, in Virginia, and I learned this a long time ago
Fighting
because I had
words.
no idea, but that and you use certain like words,
It's the fighting word. It's called the
Especially-
fighting words law.
well, especially especially racial slurs,
Yes.
they are considered an assault, and I had no idea.
If you call a black man the N word in Virginia,
You can be arrested.
yep, you can
For an
A,
assault
be
or something,
arrested,
Yep,
and it is defensible for that black man to hit you in the face.
it is, and yeah. Now they might still arrest that black man for assault, physical assault, for hitting you.
But
you
it
could
is
argue,
an accepted defense in that state.
yeah,
they
would.
just like stand your
Yeah.
ground in Florida.
Yeah, you would have a good shot of beating that. Probably, you would have a good shot. And I found this out, and because I didn't know that somebody
How'd you
that
find
somebody
this
had
out,
been
bro?
spitting out racial slurs, and I come outside and I'm ready to wail on somebody's ass because I thought they were trying to jump my little brother, and I found out my little brother was throwing around racial slurs, and I'm like, I looked at him. I said, "Man, get away from me! I'm gonna put my bat back in the house. I hope they beat your ass. Go ahead." You know,
It's just,
I'm not gonna defend you on that. You know, but the
it-
cop showed up,
it
and the
is-
cop
it-
explained this to me.
despite the way we want things to be, things are the way they are.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's just the way it is. Is you deal. Hopefully, that's the way it is. Is that you deal with the consequences of your actions one way or another.
well, and that's what I've always said. People always like to throw out the whole "I have the right." The Constitution guarantees me the right to freedom, free freedom of speech, and that's true. It does. But there are
But
repercussions
I'm
for
not
freedom.
I am not the United States government,
True, and
and
right.
that's what the First Amendment pertains to.
Well, Yes, it means that the government can't stop you from saying what you want to say.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
exactly what it
and I think that's like the
and
right.
if you think I'm
Yeah.
violating your right to free speech, you can sue me.
True. I just think that but also free speech is you have free speech, but that doesn't mean that if you say something completely ignorant, that somebody doesn't have the right to come back at
It's
you
like,
about it.
Whenever
you
people
know?
like because I do feel like people and I do hear this like from both sides kind of talk about free speech like it's kind of like almost like this antiquated thing, but it's like to me it's like without freedom of speech you don't have the American abolition movement, you don't have the women's suffrage movement, you don't have the civil rights movement, you don't have the gay rights movement, you don't have like this kind of like current kind of trans rights movement. Like those things owe themselves to freedom of speech that like most places
there's a
in the
reason
world
why
don't
it's
enjoy.
the First Amendment.
Yeah,
it is the backbone of our Constitution
and like that to
government.
me is why I was like, even if the speech is awful,
Yeah.
I always I'm like, okay, they have to defend the person's right to do it
Mm-hmm.
because somebody might deem my speech awful, you know, and that's always I
And
always
then
try to
you deal
remember
with the
that, you know.
consequences of it.
Yeah, and it's exactly deal with the consequences of it. Because everyone's always, I think everyone's going to find themselves at a point where their speech is deemed, you know, unhearable. Or I mean, even Frederick Douglass, you know, he did a speech in Boston, and he was like shouted down by these pro-slavery guys, and then the next night he did the same speech again. He went on stage and defended like freedom of speech. He said it was their right to do that. It's my right to do this. He said, but to deny freedom of speech, he said it's like I think he called it like a double injury. It denies the speaker and it also denies the listener. Right.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So if you are kind of shutting everybody up, you're denying yourself the right to hear what that person has to say. And even if it's abhorrent, you should hear that and know that and kind of have that knowledge. And he said, and he kind of just defended that, like, we don't have this without that freedom. Right.
Yeah.
So
you should look at who I follow on the MPSP Theater account, because I use it basically just to gather news. And when people say shit, I follow the rightist of the right and the leftist of the left, so I know what everybody is saying.
Yeah, it's important, man. That's important.
I tell you, man, I can't, like, if you too far left or too far right, you normally make my ears bleed, bro. Like, I just can't.
But it's Eric, like, it makes my ears bleed, but then it's like the way it bounces off of me makes me feel like, okay, I'm like, my head's in the right place, you know, because
but you know how much time it takes to even break down that stuff. This thing's exhausting, bro.
So like me, that's like a hobby. Like, I'm really interested in it, so it's like I'm like in the trenches of it.
Man, you talking to somebody who worked in politics? I couldn't stomach it then, bro.
Well, yeah. Maybe if it was a job, that'd be different, but.
I used to hate it. Let me go back to this person's office and hear them walking on for 20 minutes.
I've changed over the years. I used to be a lot more right wing. That's kind of because that's how I grew up. That's what I grew up with, and then over the years I've changed dramatically, especially over the last, I'd say, 6-7 years. I'll say Trump. It was Trump, and all the craziness that happened after him. That's made me. If anything, I'm more centralized now. Probably a little more left, but
Trump, I think, is one of the most divisive figures in the history of this country.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
And the thing is, I don't think that's hyperbole.
No, it's not at all. He's definitely a catalyst for a lot of things. And like, you know, like Russ, I probably grew up, you know, my parents were like super Catholic. My dad's still very, but my dad also, I mean, to this day is, but he's also really smart. So him and I talk and argue about politics all the time. But like I said, he's really smart. So he's really good at like articulating his views. So I think that's been like super helpful for me to be like, oh, okay, this is someone who's really conservative, maybe on the far right, but I understand why they think the things they do. I could still disagree, but I understand it. So it's like, I feel like that's like been so helpful for me, like in just like viewing people as people instead of like avatars of their party or whatever. So
you know what's crazy is like, and I tell people this all the time, like, I'm a Christian. I go to church a lot.
Yeah.
And even Jesus wouldn't have been far right. I mean, this is the same dude who went against the religious right in his day. Like, he was considered
he was definitely radical for the time, man. I read this book. I forgot who wrote it. It's called
The Left didn't like him, and the white
Reza
right
Aslan.
like him.
Reza Aslan. That's right. Yeah,
I've read it also.
It's really good. So Eric, it kind of talks about how radical Jesus was, like, especially given like the current like the
Oh,
current,
oh,
like, or like the
okay.
politics of the time.
Yeah. So I was
and
about
how
to say
they
for the
kind of-
times he was probably
Yeah, and like
pretty
how like
right.
in
Yeah.
like interpretations of them, they try to like
Mm.
tone it down to make them seem like less radical. But yeah, that book
Yeah.
was good, man. It
Yeah.
was. I mean, 13 years ago I read it, but it's good.
It's wild.
It's a really good book because it grounds it in some reality without the fantastical shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, and again, the best history books contextualize everything, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you
Oh,
get
well,
how
mostly. Yeah.
things were at the moment, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of good history
Yeah.
even in the Bible. Like that's one of the things that I enjoy about the Bible is that if you look at many of the history books that was written in that day, a lot of the biblical books and you can kind of see it all kind of line up together.
Well,
which is pretty
there's
cool.
so much overlap, and you know, I definitely had that moment, Eric, in my life where, like I said, I grew up Catholic. I'm not religious now, like I don't go to church or anything like that, and but I definitely had that moment where I would like be like, oh, look at these, you know, these people going to church or whatever,
Mhm.
and that's like as gone from my mind, right? Because to me, it's like my dad, he's an alcoholic, right? And part of the AA process, like so much of that is faith based. And I kind of had a moment where I was like, so without that, he would have never got his shit together, and then kind of like became, you know, the dad that I know because I was when I was really young. And then it's like, so to me, it's like if you get benefit from it, who the fuck am I to say
Right.
Yeah.
how
Like, as
how you
long-
should do it, you know? And
As long as you don't use your beliefs to rationalize hurting other people, I have no problem with it.
Well, you know what's crazy is again, like, and you know, not to turn this into like a religious podcast, but like even Jesus
We
wasn't
talk
about
about
that.
what we want to talk about.
dude,
Like
I'm sorry.
God isn't about that.
untethered,
Like
dude.
he's never been a person that's like, I'm gonna force my beliefs on you, and if you don't, like that would make God a rapist. Like that's not not his,
exactly, yeah.
that's not his steez. So even people who would like, you know, kill in his name, like that's not Christ like. That's not
Right.
not what the Bible's
Right.
about. And neither is Islam for that much.
I know. I was just thinking about that today. I mean, it's like if you use religion in that way, then it's like, to me, then you're doing the opposite of. So like to me, it's like if you're using it to find good in yourself, or even if that is someone's like sole motivation for, maybe that's like their why they try to treat people right. They think they're gonna, or like it's like not that they think, but like they're like, I'll go to heaven for this. But it's like, again, that's their right, and they're getting good out of it. But then if you're doing the inverse of that and using that to restrict people's rights or take a life, then you're abusing that in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, but then it's the same thing. Like that's the same way I view politics, where it's like you do what you want until it causes harm, right?
It infringes on my personal freedom.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I view kind of both those things in the same way, which is like what I try to be at that point where I'm like, what is a principle? What is the principle that I can kind of settle into? And
I remember my friend T used to always say this is when we're at a we're doing a catering thing for a church, and we're all out there after we're finished serving food, you know, getting all the food served and everything. We're kind of standing out there, and they do a moment of they stop and do like a moment of prayer. Now my friend T was always been a staunch atheist, right? He never made fun of religion. He just said, I'm a scientific person. I just don't believe in the supernatural hoopla. Was what he was telling me, you know, and
not for him, maybe.
It's not for him, not his thing, right? I know, Thomas. I respect that, you know. I said there's lots of things that are kind of hard to like just believe. You got to take them with faith, and that's tough. You know? Well, we're sitting there watching. I bow my head to pray, you know. We're all with him, and I look, and I kind of goes over, and he's got his head bowed praying, right? So we're done praying. I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Atheist, were you praying?" And he said, "Hey," he said, "just in case."
Coward.
I laughed
Yeah.
my ass off.
Hell yeah, Maya. That's my
Man
fucking.
said,
That's a
just
coward.
in case. Just in
That's-
case.
Yeah, there's that, and then it's like maybe just like respect for the
Absolutely.
people
What
that-
I
don't know,
agree
don't
with
know.
a
And then
coward,
I
but it was funny as shit
I
though.
would do the same. I would do the same thing, and I'll say, "Call me a coward." I do the same thing out of respect for the rest of the people there. You know what I mean? Just
Oh,
to be
no.
like,
Oh, it's extremely cowardly.
I just
but it was
now my
funny.
head, but I'm probably
Out of
thinking about the
respect.
football scores.
Exactly. Out of
Yeah.
respect,
He said what I'm
I
buying.
would, I would just stand quietly, eyes open. I'll put my head.
Or
down.
No, Nick's be like, please, Nick Chubb, please, man, just get healthy.
God
I need some
damn,
fantasy
man.
points.
He's
Come on,
gone-
man.
Everybody
gone
does,
for a
man. Everybody does.
while.
It is
Hey, but at
hilarious.
least they got Kareem Hunt back, man. There you go. That's your boy
There's-
too.
We could be off a lot worse off than 2-2.
You know what I wonder
Yeah.
how many people in church really do bow their heads, and I'm wondering. Geez, I wonder if that wide receiver is going to start today. You know,
I'm
dude,
a heathen. So, like, I
holy
used to-
shit!
I used to think it's shit that would like try to get me struck by lightning. Like I would like recite the fucking Satan is good, Satan is our friend thing from
Of
the
Listen,
fucking
course
bird.
he did.
Listen, I'm all about people believing what they want, but I won't tempt the situation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you say, hey, I don't. If you don't believe in God, that's great.
You're gonna
But
invite
if
evil into your home, bro.
Oh,
You don't
man.
have
Yeah,
I'm good
even
on
if I
that,
wasn't a
bro.
true
too many
believer,
movies.
I ain't gonna make fun of it, dude. I ain't gonna tempt
Right.
it.
Listen, let the
Yeah.
record show I'm never driving in the car with Nick.
Look, I've seen Friday. I've seen Friday the 13th movies. Every time some dumbass tries to stand up to Jason, they get their asses annihilated. So
I try to pretend like I'm so aloof and all this shit, and then I watch Paranormal Activity, and I'm like, all right,
it's
hey,
all done.
God, I come to you as a changed man.
Yeah, it's like, man, really messed with my head.
All right, we were gonna do a new
So-
segment here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. What are you doing?
Yes, Russ, I'm interrupting you, motherfucker.
Go ahead, do your thing.
We're gonna go ahead and do a new segment here. We were gonna do like a picture thing. It's not like community based yet. I've just been picking pictures that I like, and they all go with a different theme. And we're doing comic art this week from professionals, like on there.
Yes, we're stealing your stuff.
Yeah, we're stealing your stuff,
Always
doing
stealing
it,
your
but
stuff.
I am
Using it for content.
giving credit at least.
Oh, cool.
So let's go ahead here and find this. I doubled
Just
up
don't get us
on one.
flagged.
Dude. No, it ain't. All right. Let's see. Is it sharing that?
Yeah, we
The
Yeah.
big ass gambit. You see it?
No,
well, not
No.
the big ass one. We see like the
I see the thumbnails.
Yeah, the thumbnails, wasn't it? Yeah.
All right. So it's not gonna work. My bad.
oh my god.
Yeah. I
Hey
didn't
Nick, just
test it
describe
before.
them each in great detail.
Yeah.
Hey, easy come, easy go.
That was
One of them was
That was-
definitely a Dr. Doom, though, right?
yeah. That was
That
80
was
Granov's Dr. Doom.
That Dr. Doom looked fire.
Let me see if I can figure it out. But yeah, I'm gonna do a different theme every week after I figure that out. I'll do the whole same thing over again. But yeah, that was 80 Granov's Dr. Doom. He hasn't said for what project yet, but is it going to be the full piece is going to be revealed at Con next month or this month.
Oh, nice.
And it's supposed to be for some gigantic Marvel event around Doom. So that's why I picked that picture.
Oh, pretty cool.
Oh
Sure.
man,
Fresh coffee.
fresh coffee. I'm
Dean.
like on the last dregs of my Coke here. But Sam, you wanted to talk about Ahsoka this week.
Yeah, I did. I think everybody watched it, man, and it's
Yeah, man.
oh man. I will say, I've had a weird kind of Star Wars relationship with lately, right? Because and which is to say I haven't liked much of it lately.
Right.
And you guys know because I bring it up every chance I get. I loved Andor. I thought it was
Andor was good. Andor was
one of my-
good. I
one of
liked
my
it too.
favorite series, not
Mhm.
Star Wars series, not comic or like nerd related, like one of my favorite series
Was
of
it
all
series?
time.
Mhm.
period.
Andor was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and you know, other than that though, I feel like from the Disney era, obviously I liked Rogue One. You know, Russ is wrong about it, but
Still, is he still wrong? He's not changed his
Oh,
opinion.
lazy,
in the-
lazy
he's still
fucking
wrong.
writing.
Some things
Whatever.
won't change, Maya.
Oh.
But I mean, with the way the sequel trilogy ended, I thought that was just a calamity. You know, the Mandalorian, I'm kind of uninvested in. Didn't even
You didn't
watch
like season 1 and 2?
I liked season 1, season 2. I liked parts
Yeah.
of. I didn't even watch the third one. Obi-Wan I thought was 7/8 bad. You know, and then
that's where I want
Boba
to
Fett-
fight people because I liked
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
See, I liked
like-
Obi-Wan
I did
too.
too.
I liked
like-
Obi-Wan a
I
lot
really
too.
like that last episode. I think that last episode's perfect, but then the Boba Fett was just
That was
just
terrible.
unwatchable, right? So Ahsoka comes and I am liking what I see from the trailers, and I will still say I do got a lot of pros about it, right? So I don't. It's not. I'm not gonna trash it, right? But I do think that it was shot beautifully. I do think
Oh,
that it
he
had,
was they were flexing, dude.
no,
Some of
I-
the
I-
scenes they were showing
no,
were
I think-
to
I
show
think-
the horizon. And,
Well, so it's like to do that means they shot on location.
yeah, they were flexing. It was nice. It was cool though. I liked it.
What Andor did, which is like
Mhm.
cheaper than trying to manufacture that in a different setting, right?
I think so. I think you're right. There's truth to
Andor,
that.
I think they learned from that, and they had that going for it. Like they're kind of like shooting on location. I think where it's like, to me, the opposite of that is Obi-Wan, which feels like the whole thing is in a fucking closet in the volume, right? And I think the show suffered so bad as a result of that. But
Mm.
and I did, and like as far as like
Yeah,
the new character,
I would
oh,
like
you
to
go ahead.
counter that one point though, like where you're talking about like how you felt like it was like sheltered and small, maybe.
Mhm.
I felt that like with the Vader shit that helped. Like when you
Yeah.
first see Vader
Yeah,
in that fucking alley, and it's just like he is so.
Oh, you know when he's using the
imposing.
force to just like grab people and drag them and shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
I
was
mean,
wild.
I thought that in
Oh,
those
man.
scenes, like that cinematic choice was good.
Yeah, and I feel like if they would have, we'll talk about it. We'll get to it because we've had it out before about that, talked about it.
Yeah.
Before, but I do feel like as far as like with Ahsoka, new characters, Balin Skull, played by the late Ray Stevenson, he
Yeah.
was fucking incredible.
I
did
know.
a really good
I
job.
liked him so much,
And
man.
it's a twofold thing because the character super fucking interesting.
Yep.
And then the performance by Ray Stevenson, it's like that's a thing where it's like when you have, and I feel like that almost did a detriment to the rest of the show because he was so far head and shoulders.
Yes.
above
Well, he's a
everybody.
good actor though too. So
Until
he's really a
Thrawn
good
showed up.
actor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like it made everyone else worse. Like it like to me, it pulled away from everyone else.
Yeah, he's gonna bring attention
He did
to any role he does.
He did so well. And I like
good.
his apprentice, but again, it's like I think like that's just a really interesting character, a really cool
Dude.
dynamic between the two of them. And it's like he started out like he kind of seemed like a villain, and then it's like, well, I
He's
don't
an
know.
anti-hero.
Yeah, it seemed like he had his own unique motivations. I would have liked to find out what those were.
Yeah.
You know what I
Do
mean?
you-
Like,
Like that was the thing is his motivations weren't like any other character in Star Wars that we've seen on screen.
but I don't even know what they were. That's my
Right.
that's like
You
a,
could
to me
see,
a
like,
criticism, right?
Okay, he's a dark Jedi, obviously. Okay,
Right.
he's not a Sith.
Yes,
Which
yeah.
I
Not a
think
Sith,
is
but-
I mean, like by those standards, so is Luke Skywalker. Like
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, like sees the value in attachment to others and kind of like
See, that's what I don't understand. What is what's the definition of a dark Jedi? I'm curious. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what it is.
Well, a dark Jedi is any Force user that is ranked up as a Jedi that is not following the
Just
light
like
path.
yeah, just like
So-
not like of the
like
true-
so if a Jedi Knight decide that they're just disgusted with the Order,
Okay,
and they don't like anything the Order standing for
Raylan
anymore.
Skull. Yeah.
Yeah, and they walk away from the Order.
Mm-hmm.
Do they become a Dark Jedi right away? Is that what they
No.
become?
No, it
I
has to be
don't-
like their deeds and shit, man. They have to be like, okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna rule a place. I'm a,
Well, he
but
clearly
they don't. But they don't follow the Sith ideology.
So I don't
Yeah.
know
Right,
if he
okay.
was or if he did or not because we didn't get to see
I
that.
don't either. And like that to me is a
Yeah.
criticism. I would like to
If
know.
I'm not mistaken, he did say, "I'm no Jedi," or "I'm no longer a Jedi."
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. And, like that's the thing. I'd like to know what his motivations were. Like,
Yeah.
I'd say he was a Sith, and that girl was clearly a Sith. She was running with the Inquisitors.
That's the thing. I think like that was like a degree
Shin.
between them.
Well, I don't know because in that episode he was like, "No, I didn't train you as a Jedi. I trained you as something
to be something
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
right."
Yeah, but
And
Yeah.
it doesn't
that's
seem
the same
like
thing. That's the same thing that Palpatine promised Anakin. I'm
that's
promising
good.
you something else.
That's a good. point.
right, but it just
But
does.
I feel like his actions were like. Well, I mean, he did.
He
kill
seemed
him.
more of an anti-hero.
Yeah,
Because he
right,
didn't
like
want to
he-
really. He didn't want to kill Ahsoka, but he did because he
I
felt
don't
like
know.
the mission was
I
more
think he was
important.
ready to. Yeah, he was ready
Yeah.
to. Right.
Yeah.
I think that like he decided to kill Ahsoka as soon as he heard she was there, because like it seems like his entire backstory went to fucking Order 66 in the temple.
Well, yeah, because he was still part of the Order when that went down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was like,
Yeah.
did anyone actually die in Order 66? Or
yeah,
No,
Yeah, it
I
seems
mean,
like
well,
everybody
they
survived,
say
though.
like 10% of the Jedi lived,
yeah.
Yeah.
but a lot of them got killed really fast.
10%.
You gotta understand, Sam. Supposedly, between Vader and the Inquisitors, they killed a ton of Jedi, man.
What's
Yeah.
funny? So
That were
here's-
left over.
and it's like I'll say this, and I'll kind of like leave it open, right, for everybody to discuss, because I do think with Ahsoka, it brought out some kind of like problems with their Star Wars is right now, and then also like feeding into a lot of like the Star Wars YouTuber kind of like culture, I guess, which so like the character Merrick, right? How so many YouTube videos on who is Merrick,
Right, right.
who's really. It turns out he's just a character named Merrick.
Merrick. Yep.
Same thing.
Who
That's it.
who was reincarnated on top of that,
Yeah.
or
He was-
resurrected?
Yeah, because it looked like some Night Sister magic. What it looked
Yeah,
like to me.
he turned to dust or whatever. So
Right.
my issue with that is where it's like I do feel like people aren't watching these shows for what they are.
No, they're not, because they're
People
going in with expectations.
Exactly.
They think, oh,
But-
everything's got to be connected. This has to be this way, and this has to be this way. And
think
if
you're
it's
right.
not, I
That's true.
don't fucking
Which
like
I think
it.
is I
Yeah.
think it's a distraction from what it is, and it also
Good point.
by the next episode there's something else to talk about, so it never gets addressed. Like, okay, we were wrong that this character was something. He actually turned out to be nothing because
Right.
of someone else. And I do think like with Dave Filoni, because and Calum and I, like, we disagree about a lot of things because we've gone back and forth like about Star Wars stuff, but he has always said, like Filoni like just reaches back. And I don't think that's necessarily true, but I do think he reaches back enough for these Star Wars YouTubers or for kind of what Maya said, for people to have an excuse to say, well, I was right 1 out of 3 times.
Well, that's the thing,
I'm
though,
not
is
think
that
this
these
character is somebody different or fucking Star Killer or
Yeah.
Ezra.
everybody was saying that Merrick was Star Killer, but like that's
Yeah.
the thing is like
God,
these,
yeah.
these YouTubers come out with a video. Oh, Merrick is Star Killer. The next one, oh, he was never Star Killer. He was supposed to be.
Well,
somebody
it's usually not even that. It's like it's not even like a recognition that they were.
That they were wrong.
no, right. It's just
on to
a
the
video
next thing.
of the exact opposite point and them adopting it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's No, you're right. I noticed that too.
Like that kind of Star Wars YouTuber thing, Gort and I really kind of see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. So like we pass each other video essays along, and he showed me this one, and like this guy does a compilation of Star Wars YouTubers of like the Clone Wars flashbacks where they had like the rubbery costumes where their like shoulder pads are flapping in the wind, and you know, and it's like
That's funny, buddy.
they're literally like crying tears. They're like, oh my god, it's Captain Rex. I'm like, and it's like these people are too far gone, man. You know, and it's really hard to see, and you know, I don't think, and like there wasn't the speculation about Andor, and I think it's for a couple of reasons. One,
they didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Well, so that to me is my second reason. Number one, I think not enough people watched it. But like I do remember hearing early on like people being like, "Oh, I'm hoping Vader shows up in Andor."
But why would they? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and then it's like you get into the show and he doesn't, and you don't want him to, because you actually give a fuck about the characters who are presented in the show. Which is, I think, the difference. I think when you are satisfied with what's presented to you, you're not looking for the next thing. You're not looking for the character that's on the screen to be something that he or she isn't.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
If you can get the viewer to care about the story that you're telling, and then you don't have these goofy theory videos of, you know, why Balin's looking for Abeloth, who is like a fucking forgettable Legends character that's never going to appear in the canon. Like,
yeah,
I think if you like invest in your own characters and make them likable and make them understandable,
I think they're grabbing for something else from Legends, though.
What do you think? Like just like the Heir to the Empire trilogy, or
I think, yeah, that's what it seems like. Is they're gonna do Heir to the Empire, but I'm talking further along. Like does
like the Eugene Bong or anything?
Yup. With this Balin Skull shit.
But then it's like he's like standing on the statue of like the father from Mordor, which like is cool if you watch the Clone Wars. If you didn't,
right.
Which I do think a lot of people who probably watched Ahsoka didn't, and they're like, "Wait, what is that?" You know, it's like
I watched it, but I didn't remember what that was. I mean, I didn't even understand that it had importance.
Well, I mean, you might be right about that, Sam, but I think a lot of people that watch Ahsoka were fans of the show Rebels, probably too, and if
you gotta get people interested in the show that you're presenting.
No, I understand, and what. It's hard to say because when you're a Star Wars fan, you know these characters already. If you watched all the movies, all the shows that have come up before, you know, so like I know who Ahsoka is because I watched her from the very first episode of where she showed up. You know,
the first movie.
Yeah, the movie, right? She showed up in the movie, right? And
I didn't even remember her.
Yeah,
in the movie.
She was the kickoff movie for like
the Clone Wars movie.
Clone Wars, yeah,
the animated one.
Oh, the cartoon movie. Yeah,
right.
I remember that.
Right, the animated one, and she
with the Hutt baby.
Yeah, right. Jabba's kid, right?
Yeah, she was basically a kid then.
Yeah, she was a kid, and at first people didn't care for her character. It took a while for her character to grow on everybody, but you're watching her character come along. And then the episodes where the Jedi Order, like she gets framed.
You know, EE and I, and it's like that to me is really important and should be informative or cares. So EE, you know, he is wrong about most things, but in the one instance that him and I disagree is when like with Ahsoka and kind of how she like views the Jedi Order and everything, and with whenever Mando goes to see Baby Yoda in I guess that was the Book of Boba Fett. Like she seems to be all aboard of like the dogma of the old Jedi Order that she left, that she walked away from, right? So
no, I don't know about that. Where do you get that from? You think
she's like you can't see him. She literally was like you can't see him.
But see, I think it was addressed narratively in this series because I've heard that point, but here's what I'm saying. the whole first 4 episodes really concentrated on her and Sabine's relationship and how fractured it was and why
Right.
it was fractured. And it was because of her, Ahsoka's trying to adhere more to the old Jedi ways, right? She was trying to be strict. She was scared of Sabine's power.
As a teacher, yeah, I would say that you're probably right. Yep.
Okay. So what happens as she adopts these ideals? She goes up against Baylan Skoll and she loses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why Anakin had to come explain to her, like, you're not ready yet.
So then,
Yeah.
you have the Anakin thing, and then you go on, and she's grown, and you have the, it's basic trope.
So like I hear that, but I feel like she learned a lesson that she learned 10 years ago in the Clone Wars. Of like,
but I don't know, because
this isn't the way to do it, right?
But her behavior would tell you that maybe she didn't learn the lesson. Maybe she forgot that lesson.
Even like when
I don't know.
She came back at the end of the Clone Wars, like she was very much like I'm like, look, I'm not doing like playing everything by your guide.
She was still standoffish.
She was like
she was more like Luke. She
exactly.
was more like Luke.
Yeah. So it's like that's where like to me, in which I'll say those last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, some of the best Star Wars content Disney's given them. Period.
Sam, have you watched Rebels?
I not all of it.
You need to watch Rebels and watch how she is in Rebels.
But I think even in that though,
Clone Wars came after that.
No, Clone Wars was before Rebels.
No. The last season, the last 4 episodes of the last season.
Oh yeah. But it takes place before Rebels.
Yeah, but then it's like, so what is she? Does she?
She's a little bit older in Rebels.
Learn the lesson, forget the lesson, and then
right. And that's where what E was saying in the chat comes into play, is that they forgot her character progression.
Okay, and that I'll give you. I noticed that.
They basically set you up to have Ahsoka's story told again.
Yeah. It seems like they did repeat it. And what bothers me about maybe I'm wrong for this, because maybe it's the live action versus animated, and it's different. But it bothers me. I feel like Rosario Dawson, I guess she's a good actress. And for the most part, she does okay.
Bad direction for us.
But it has to be bad direction, because I feel like she is not. She's portraying Ahsoka to be like, Ahsoka was serious, but Ahsoka wasn't that serious. Like she seems like she's pissed off all the time.
I think
older though, man. Like I think that's the thing that people forget. Like this girl is older now.
That's true, but even when you're older. Like when you're older,
when you got older, you didn't become more angrier. Like,
no, well, for a little while I did. I blame Hasbro for it.
Yo, I know, but like that's a part of life.
Takara, it was Takara's fault.
She's become older. She's become more jaded. Like I think that's a part of what really is
a bitch.
And I get that, but there's still moments where she should have been a little more lighter, and she wasn't. They're just not getting it right. I get what you're saying. You can make her more jaded, a little bit older, but dude, she's like just seems like she's in a constant state of pissed off. I swear, the only time she really smiles is when she gets there and she sees Ezra for the first time.
And that meant everything, man. So like,
it did.
He showed up in like
that reunion was great.
When he first saw Sabine, like I thought that actor, he did great, man. Like
he's great and he is good. Yeah. I love it, man.
And then it's like like to me, it's like I'm forgiving him more stuff if I'm more invested, right? And I'm less forgiving if I'm less invested. And there's like there's a scene in me and E are watching at the same time. He was like 15 minutes ahead of me, and he shoots me a messenger message, says worst lightsaber choreography, and I was like, oh my god, just I can't wait to see this.
But I don't mind. See, that's the thing that
there's
on about too.
Well, like there's one scene where it's the 3 of them. It's Ahsoka, Ezra to her left, Sabine to her right, and they're just like
Yeah.
in front of the green screen, and I was like, yeah, how did this
Sabine
make it?
blasters.
Yeah.
How did
Sabine
this
got
make it to
shot,
the final
dude. That's
cut?
why
And
she got hit.
it's just goofy. It's just goofy, and it takes me right out of it.
Yeah.
But if I was like more invested, it wouldn't do that.
But I was into them fucking Ahsoka Balin Skull fights.
Yeah, dude, they were
Okay.
good. Like, because
I
hey,
enjoyed those
like
too.
that shit was compelling, man. That shit was compelling.
I didn't really care about his apprentice, Haiti.
I just don't understand why people don't get that she's older, like way.
No, I
older.
get, no. I know. I do
Yeah,
get that she's older,
Yeah,
but I feel like
think it's like she's like Anakin's like Padawan, so she always kind of seems like you. But like once Rebels came along, I didn't look at her that same way. Or being a kid.
Because y'all gotta think, like this has got to
Right.
be 30
Oh, no,
years
I was
past
talking.
due.
I was talking about Skin Haiti.
Shin Hottie.
Yeah,
Shin
no
Hottie.
Shin Hot. Yeah, she and I know what you're saying, Ian. And again, it might be just me. Maybe I'm thinking she should be a little less gruff, but maybe that's what they're trying to get us to understand is that
that
she's jaded from
way
everything she's
older.
been through.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about Luke from the end of the original trilogy to
Yeah.
when you saw him in episode 7. I mean 8.
I really try not to,
but
but
he was it's 20 years had passed, and now
I know, but
dude's he's like, I'm over all of it.
they
I'm
turned
over it.
Luke Skywalker into a crusty old.
They turned
fucking
Luke
hermit.
Skywalker. They turned Luke Skywalker into a
one of us.
Is what they turned him into.
But he's the
But
most
all of
heroic. He's the most heroic Luke has ever been in any of the series, any of the movies we've seen. Like
Are you
that's the most
kidding?
heroic. No, I'm
What
not,
about Return
because
of the Jedi? You didn't fought Vader. He kicked ass, man. He did
for
everything
5
good.
seconds, but he still wasn't a hero.
No, it was longer than 5 seconds.
He was still a whiny little girl.
And he
Like,
didn't
he
die
didn't
by hook or
mature.
by crook, man.
Yeah, look, like he didn't mature
Well,
until
that is you know, I like Eric, like once the sequel trilogy ended, I was like, just fuck it all, right? But I do like that part of The Last Jedi where he figures out a way to do this without violence, right? Like without drawing a lightsaber in real life, and he gives his life for it, right? So I that still means something.
Oh, you know when he does
that is true, because he does embody the Jedi principles that
finally
should be
finally, right? Finally, you know,
the circle is complete.
You mean when he flexes his Jedi powers? I love it. And manifests himself.
And that's just
as
hard,
a Force
man.
ghost
Across the
spirit.
galaxy.
But like,
I love it.
fucking going back to Ahsoka, I want to go ahead and get on this for the last topic before we go ahead and head home, because we're hitting up to 11:30. Hayden Christensen,
He's great. He's incredible.
Dude,
Like he just jumped right
every
back into the
every
dude.
scene he's
great.
in, he kills.
I just like watching them fight. Yeah, when they first start. And she thinks she's a smart ass, and he goes, I haven't taught you everything. He takes the floor out from under her. It's cool as shit. I laugh, dude.
He didn't have to do.
Oh man,
he didn't have to do a goddamn thing but smile in that last fucking scene.
It was great, wasn't it? That he's watching.
Yeah,
Just let you know.
Yeah, he has slotted right back in, and I'm happy for him because I know he got a lot of shit, but
I think this and the Ahsoka show, I mean the Obi-Wan show, probably redeemed him for a lot of people.
For all those people that think that he's been watching Luke over the years, he ain't watching that dumb kid. He's keeping his eye on Ahsoka. Ahsoka more important to him than Luke. I'm joking. I'm joking.
One thing about Hayden Christensen, do you think he would have been more well received had somebody other than Lucas directed the original trilogy and not directed him to be so wooden?
I'm gonna tell you.
I think that's what you're getting here. Maya is better direction. And like some actors need that, and some of them don't. And it's real quick, Nick. Like he had in the Phantom Menace, fucking Liam Neeson, and Natalie Portman, and
Ewan
whoever
McGregor.
played Palpatine. Yeah, Ewan McGregor, right?
And
it's
Ian
like
McDermott.
Ian McDermott, right? So like these people that are like George Lucas probably get away with not giving much direction, but they're just like at the top of their game.
And then
like,
the cast, like,
yeah, and then you have like I mean a huge gap between where you get Hayden Christensen, which is not
Right.
necessarily a knock to him,
Oh.
but
I also think people forget how old he was, and he was, you know, the kid was kind of a brat. You know, he was like remember this. He was so he was a lot more further along than most Padawans who had been by the way training longer than he has been.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he just came in and he just learned shit really fast. And he apparently he was not very popular at the academy either. Other Padawans hated his bitch ass because he would just show them all up.
But like what I really think that you're seeing with Hayden Christensen is the evolution of a performance.
I think it's true.
Because you know he had all this baggage after episode 3.
Yeah.
He could have returned.
Why episode 3? I thought he did a really good job in episode 3.
Yeah,
episode
3
was the
but episode
that
3
was the one.
When episode 3 came out, nobody liked that shit.
There were a lot of haters. Episode 3 has got is loved more now than it was when it was out.
The whole
that's my favorite one of the whole
mine
franchise.
Too.
Yeah,
but it got. Remember, they made the whole Palpatine Anakin scene into a meme. Like they just like fucking trashed the entire movie. And like, what I'm saying is like when you first so you're seeing Hayden Christensen as Vader when we first see him, back in Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
and as Obi-Wan goes on, you see Vader become more vulnerable performance-wise. Yeah. And then that allows you to get back with him in Ahsoka. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have that emotional tether to Vader now, and you can see back to Anakin.
You know, I gotta tell you guys, what you just said is right on, because when I was a kid, I remember watching those first 3 Star Wars movies. And that's how I grew up. Darth Vader, I always thought of him as the emotionless, like coldest.
I was married,
but just roughest evil bad guy ever, right? And what they've done to me is they've made me see that there was a lot going on with Vader. A lot going on with Vader. Yeah. When you don't know,
it's a lot he went through to bring him to that point.
There's a lot of internal torment going on in there. You know, it's crazy.
Like,
it's almost like there's 2 sides of him fighting for control. You know, it's wild.
I think that Vader is the exact opposite of Wolverine in the fact that Vader was mysterious. You only know a little bit of pieces of his history. You know, it was a big mystery until the prequels. I think that succeeded, and you know, as an origin story for Vader.
Right.
Then you get to Wolverine, and you've had so many different, fucking origins, and also, you've had, the definitive quote unquote origin. And it wasn't well received. But it didn't kill people's love for Wolverine.
No, it didn't. We were still, people just chose to forget that, and we got plenty of other Wolverine stuff to go with.
Well, I mean, but also to be fair, Wolverine wasn't a villain.
True. That's true too.
True.
Yeah.
It's easier to not like the villain.
It's different. It's hard to compare those mediums too, man, because I do think with film stuff like that accounts for everything. Right.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Like with comics, there you could see something you don't like, and maybe like, well, I can wait it out until there's like a version.
Yeah, eventually they'll get to it.
That I do like. So I feel like it's tough to compare them.
I think the thing with Hayden Christensen, it wasn't so much of his own personal development. I think the script is just different. Like Lucas is not involved, and this is no knock on Lucas again. I
Right.
liked episode 3, but
Yeah.
like when you have the Disney writers coming over, the people who came over who loved Star Wars, who worked for Lucasfilm, but they loved it and now working with Disney and has the chance to kind of flesh out that character a little more. I think you like those are the same people who wrote Rebels, same people who wrote the Clone Wars, where they had way more time to flesh out characters. So I think that's what you've seen with Hayden Christensen, because he's always been a good actor. He's just it's like E said, he stepped into a very hard role.
I think that's true.
And again, like Lucas isn't the best director of actors. Like he's, I think he's like
that's why
he's a visionary. He's not a director.
Right? Yeah, because like he can. I mean, like you watch that like the Battle of Coruscant at the beginning of episode 3. Like who else could do that? Who else could picture that? And then it's like, but he can't tell an actor.
He
what
does those big cheesecake, like fucking marquee shots.
Yeah, I mean, look at what he had to work with.
And it started with A New Hope.
Yeah.
The beginning of that movie,
and it's like in the same way that like J.R.R. Tolkien is responsible for everything that he's responsible for, like George Lucas is, but
yeah, like if you think about,
I have a problem comparing Lucas to Tolkien, okay? Because Lucas didn't plagiarize, hasn't met a fucking Kurosawa film that he hasn't plagiarized.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
true, but then it's like, I mean, I do feel like the vision of it all, like whether you borrow from it or not.
George Lucas had the ultimate elevator pitch at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, he said, "Look, I'm going to give you Star Trek. I'm going to give you a samurai movie. I'm going to give you a western."
I think it was a Joseph Campbell Hero of a Thousand Faces, right? Which
absolutely
is what A New Hope is, you know. But then to his credit, he built on that.
Right.
I mean, but let's look, man. That dude has had the
comparing him to Tolkien. To me, is like
he's been blessed with a lot of great actors, man. Like he's had Harrison Ford. I mean, he's had some really good, even in Indiana Jones.
And I do think George Lucas has made a lot of it up as he went along.
Yeah,
which I will say he's had a lot of.
But when you're a visionary,
led to a lot of contradictions.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
Also, like you guys were talking about actor performances, like, and you're mentioning Harrison Ford and like Ian McDermott, but then look at Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher.
Completely. Or no, not nothing. Because Mark Hamill had a voice acting career.
Well, he had a. Yeah, I don't think he had a voice acting career at the time, but I think he had like a little bit part in American Graffiti, I think, right?
No, Harrison Ford had a part in
Harrison
Ford. Mark Hamill had been like on a daytime TV soap for a few months or something.
That's what it was,
right. Yeah.
He had very little experience.
I guess the Freddy Krueger story is not true. Mark Hamill says it's not true, that Robert Englund suggested for him to take that audition, which is a story that's gone around for years.
Well, they're all young actors back in those days, I'm sure, fighting to get roles and shit.
But like Carrie Fisher, like, is such an underappreciated part of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Not only is she Hollywood royalty.
Yep.
Look up who her parents are.
Yep.
And then she was one of the best script polishers that Hollywood's ever seen. She cleaned up. Yeah, she was a hell of a writer. And then her books are amazing. Postcards from the Edge, all that shit. Yeah. Carrie Fisher is like so fascinating to me.
I just think because most people hear her name, Nick, and the first thing that comes to their mind, Star Wars. Because a lot of people just aren't aware of that behind the scenes stuff.
What's up, Derek?
But she really was.
Thanks for stopping by, homie.
And I remember I had it bad for her little sister. Her little sister was hot as shit back in the day. She was on she was on Ellen DeGeneres' sitcom. I used to be like, dude, I want to see Ellen. She was her name Jodie. I can't remember. Jolie, yeah, I think piece of ass.
Jolene.
What
No,
piece of ass?
Jolene.
Jolie.
Jolene.
I just said she was hot as shit, dude. I'd been her over. Woo!
Oh my god! Oh,
Up
God.
in
damn
that
it.
son. It's good stuff.
Oh, and on that
Yeah,
note,
throw the banner now.
yeah.
Ben,
Just
on.
a couple of. We're gonna go ahead and head out of here in a minute. Just so that everybody knows, we're gonna be doing some fun stuff this month. We're gonna extend the poll that we have going on in the Masterpiece Shitpiece Theater Facebook group. We have a poll going on right now where you can vote on a horror icon or studio, and we'll do a deep dive episode on it on October 28th, the end of this month. And we have a special guest coming on who we'll go ahead and talk about at a later date. Also, Brandon McGinley, Chaos Within 13 on Twitter, has graciously agreed to do a drawing of whatever option wins our poll.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
Thank
pretty
you,
cool. I
Brandon.
really damn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So we'll also be giving that away on the October 28th episode where we do the deep dive on whoever wins.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So I think right now Freddy's winning. Candyman was winning for a bit. So if you want to vote,
So how are we gonna give it away?
I was thinking of doing a trivia game. Like
Not bad. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just do a general horror trivia game.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right,
Make it
yeah.
not too hard, and
Yeah.
just to thank everybody for supporting us for the 6 years we've been doing this.
Nice.
Years, man. Good golly.
Yeah.
I dig it. All right, cool.
And so the 14th, I don't know, which is 2 weeks from now. I don't know what we're doing yet, but
That's next week.
oh, next week. I don't know what we're doing yet, but the poll for the episode on the 28th, that option, that will close next week. We were going to originally close it this week, but a friend of ours started posting things around and we've gotten a little bit more reaction. So a little more reaction, a little more votes, a little more participation so people can get something cool.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
So
Sounds like a good time, man.
hell yeah. And on the 21st of this month, and if you are interested in participating, let me know. Not all of us will be able to be here, but most of us will. We're going to watch Todd Browning's Freaks from the 1930s and do a commentary track for it, like we did for that crazy ass.
One of us.
Hell yeah.
What was it? Yeah. What did?
Oh, God.
We did that
The fucking Christmas thing we
KFC
did.
thing, yeah.
KFC thing with Mario
That was hard.
Lopez. Hell yeah. It's still on this channel, too.
That was hard.
Hell yeah. And
What?
hopefully we can get people back. What's up?
What day is the 21st?
It's a Saturday.
28th.
28th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The 21st is a Saturday. All these
Okay.
days are Saturday. Every 7
All right.
is a Saturday this month.
I just haven't looked at it, dude. I my since I've been bouncing between home and fucking Hagerstown, and I'm at work half the time or almost all the time. I'm like, I go back out, I go back to the hotel, I go to sleep. It's terrible. I have a horrible existence. This is the best. This is the most
Just
fun
now?
I've had. No. I've been. I know. Just now, right?
Oh,
You
God
think-
damn it, Derek. I don't even know what I said now. I'm fucking stoned and we've been going for 2 hours.
Oh, I'm sorry. I threw you off. My bad.
No, it
Anyway.
was Derek in the chat.
Hello,
Oh,
Derek.
man. Well, the 21st is going to be Freaks. The 28th is going to be the deep dive episode and
Okay.
trivia to give away a prize.
Halloween, dude.
Cool.
Let's fucking go. Best holiday.
Yeah.
Man.
Hell yeah. We'll figure something out fun for next week, too. All right. So,
Nice.
as you say each week, peace, love, and hair grease. We're out. And thank you, gentlemen and lady, for doing the show with me. I appreciate
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Adios.
Peace.
God damn, this felt so good.